the Bible is comfortable talking about things that we may not be comfortable with it talking about. Right. So with the stories that we're going to look at here regarding euphemism, we want to put this in the context of the Bible's discussions on sex. It's very comfortable talking graphically, violently, directly about these things. Right. So when we're going to present these stories to you and say, hey, this reference to feet may be a wink or a nod going another way, it's within the realm of possibility for the authors. But as always, with euphemism, with innuendo, it depends on you reading this. They're expecting you to pick something up in the scene or to be aware of the context. And so there's arguments. Not everyone is in agreement with some of the stories that we're going to talk about, whether this is a reference to more than just a foot or not.
But keep in mind that, and again, Francesca Stavrokopoulou just wrote a book on the image of God, right? On the body, and talks a lot about these body parts, that there are many, many different words that are euphemisms for genitalia, or so a finger can be, a foot can be, a hand can be, thigh can be. So this is well-known scholarship within the Bible. And today we're just looking at one of them, feet. And you just have to accept that foot is an established euphemism for the male member. The question is, when is it and when is it not? And the one thing I want to point out is this works in Hebrew and not necessarily in Greek.
Yes.
So in John 13, when Jesus washes his disciples' feet, it's his feet. That's a service, right? Or in Tobit 6:3, when he sticks his feet in the water and the fish comes up and tries to swallow the young man's foot, probably that's talking about his actual foot, because then he takes the fish and those are Greek texts, right? So, but in Hebrew, foot or feet can be a euphemism for the penis. Let's just put it out there. Now, the other one that comes to mind is Ruth and Boaz, right? This is probably the most famous use of feet that there is the one, at least the one that I teach. And this is a celebratory one. But again, it's one where Ruth takes it a little farther than she should, right? Naomi gives Ruth explicit instructions, and Ruth is like, no.
And again, a story where we're talking about concerns of fertility and children and offspring. And so maybe not as explicit as some of these other stories, but in the story of Ruth, it's absolutely a concern of kids and marriage and land and production of both the ground and the humans. And so the story of Ruth, we get this uncovering of the feet. And again, Ruth, it's a story that we're familiar with, much like David and Bathsheba.
Right.
And I think here people are more familiar with the scene in question, but this part comes in Ruth chapter 3 after she's been gleaning in the field. And Naomi comes to Ruth, knowing she's been in Boaz's field. Ruth 3:3, she gives her some instructions. Now wash and anoint yourself, put on your best clothes, go down to the threshing floor, but do not make yourself known to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. When he lies down, observe the place where he lies, then go and uncover his feet and lie down, and he will tell you what to do. She said to her, all that you tell me, I will do. Then in verse 7, when Boaz had eaten and drunk and he was in a contented mood, he went to lie down at the end of the heap of grain. Then she came stealthily and uncovered his feet and lay down. Okay. So we have some instructions I think we need to talk about and some uncovering of feet that we need to talk about. I think instructions first, as far as, again, setting the stage of should we be reading, should we be looking for anything more than just what's literally stated? Bob, do you think in this context we should?
Okay, so I like stories of women who take it upon themselves to do a little thing, sometimes when they even do things that are a little above and beyond, let's say, even if it's not above board, to bring about their own redemption, right? So this is Judah and Tamar. These are the stories of Esther, do things that, and that's what Ruth is doing. Ruth did not follow directions. She did not, right? What did Naomi tell her to do? When he lies down, basically she says, okay, They're out in the field in the summer in harvest. He's literally behind the haystack or the grain stack or whatever. He's been working all day. He's big. I already say he's a big, strong, older, tough guy, right? Working hard all day. Now he's going to eat and drink. So he's put in a good, hard day's work. He's tired. He's drunk. And now he's going to go lie down because he's spent, right? And she goes, look at where he lies down and then go and uncover his feet, right? And I don't think here she means his toes, right? And then, give him
and lie down.
I don't want to use the word foot massage because it's, we're dealing with, but she goes, go and cover his feet and lie down and look at the thing, and he will tell you what to do. So what Naomi's saying is, he's an eligible kinsman redeemer. You obviously like him. Wait till he's good and drunk. Go find him. Uncover his feet, lie down next to him, and then let him tell you what to do. That's the rules, right? So, but then it says, when Boaz had eaten and drunk, good, and was in a contented mood, right? So he's
good and
happy, right? Good and drunk. He went to lie down at the end of the grain. Okay, so she saw that. Then she came stealthily, right? He sneaks in there because you don't want to be seen as a woman sneaking around the drunk guys at the end of the field, and uncovered his feet and lay down. So she did this, and at midnight, the man was startled to see there a woman lying at his feet, right? So she gets in there and lies down, and he's supposed to tell her what to do. But she gets all the way in there and lies down and basically says, if we keep reading, she lies there until the morning, and he got up and he's like, you got to get out of here. Because she's basically saying, redeem me. And Boaz has to convey, I'd love to. Trust me, I would love to. This is you. Woof. But there's somebody closer, this Poloni Almoni guy, right? We have to ask him first, because not only is Boaz rich and good looking, and but he's also a righteous guy and he wants to follow the rules. We got to go ask him, and if he doesn't, I will. So she's like, she gets in there, she's like, redeem me, and he's like, yeah, I can't, not yet. Okay, but this is all in the context of redemption. And she lost her, the husbands are gone. The
husbands are dead.
Children. And so this is all about sex. He's contented. When is this scroll read, right? It's a festival scroll. It's a happy scroll. It's about celebrating sex. It's about celebrating fertility. This is absolutely talking about his male member. This is absolutely talking about sex. This isn't just his toes. And what do you think?
I agree, because I think in the narrative sense, if we're reading this as a little novella, it heightens the drama to do this. But there's a part of, for me, the setup of wait till he's alone, he's in the field, he's drunk, uncover his feet. For him, when he wakes up and he's shocked and there's a woman lying here, Naomi doesn't say this part, but if you're Boaz, you're drunk, you wake up in the field uncovered next to her, it may be putting the pressure on him of, you don't remember what did or didn't happen here. So she has a claim to you. So it's really taking as much of the squeeze, as she can get over him to say, hey, I want you to redeem me. You're going to redeem me. Whether anything did or did not happen here, we're not told. But if you're Boaz waking up the next morning, he may have some questions of, wait, what? And he says, like, nobody can see you leaving. You need to get out of here before it's light and people may see. And there are going to be questions, because he knows the question's going to be, what did you two get up to? And he's like, well, I don't remember exactly. I just woke up.
But it shows the righteousness of Boaz. Again, he is concerned with her reputation. He's not just concerned about, he's not just concerned about scoring. He's not just concerned about having this, again, we're talking about innuendo. So all these roll in the hay, right? Or roll in the grain, or, whatever, you behind the haystack or whatever. He, I think, loves her. And I think he's concerned about her. And if this is going to be my wife, I want to do this the right way. And so he's like, there is somebody closer. He could make a claim. Let's do this the right way. And so there's a naked woman laying next to his feet in the field. And he's like, I get what you want. I know something you don't. Let's do this the right way. And again, that's the power of this story, that it's a fertility story. And it's one of these ones that's like, that's good. That's bad. That's good. The famine's over. Oh, that's bad. You lost your husbands, right? It's one of these type fun stories. It's good to read at a festival. Oh yeah, you're going to get redeemed. Oh, there's another guy. And that's it. Again, it's beautiful, beautiful literature, but it revolves around this euphemism. So you can't say it, but that's what it's about.
Well, and I think out of all the ones we've talked about today, this is the one that people are the most familiar with, but also attached to. Like there's this emotional, because it's such a compelling story, and people want to model themselves or others off of these characters, that Ruth uncovering his feet, if we just read it as his feet, his literal feet, they go, oh yes, she did what she was told to do. Boaz is righteous. And it's this nice, clean image, the clean milkmaid doing what she's been told, and we've got no questions. But when read in the context of the Bible, that's not really how they get things done in any other story. So why suddenly we're so concerned with them maintaining this sense of what we deem as right and wrong, that for me, I see it being a much more compelling and motivating story if Ruth is really taking the bull by the horns here and putting the pressure on Boaz, and this isn't just his feet, but this is his foot, and she's taking full control of the situation in whatever way she can. Because even with giving her full control, there is still some discomfort for me here of the way that she can have control is she has to make herself open to being used for sex in order to survive. It's still not a comfortable story. Like, it's in the context. It's still the yabum. It's the yabam, the levirate marriage, right? Yeah.
It's still it's this idea that she needs to have the next of kin give her children. Now, if he takes her on as a wife, okay, but again, the women of the Bible, the heroes of the Bible, work within the system to bring about their own redemption. And you can rattle them off. You can, and by the way, look at the genealogy of Jesus in Matthew. Look at the women who are named. These are the women who basically took matters into their own hands to bring it. They didn't necessarily play by the rules. They didn't necessarily follow the instructions. They did the things that they needed to do to take care of themselves, to redeem themselves, you might say. And these are the women that are remembered. I love this idea that, the women are supposed to just sit and obey their husbands and whatever the hell Harrison Butker said, that people ought to be doing. That's not what we read about in the Bible, at least not in ancient Israel.
Yeah.
It's women who are righteous women who are understanding that the system is flawed, and they're going to work within that system to bring about their own redemption. This is what Ruth is doing. And if they can dress it up with a little, there's some euphemism, there's some fun, and Boaz says, I get what you're doing. Hey, I'm right there with you. I trust me. I'm on board with this, but let's follow the rules. Let's do what we're supposed to do. And then, of course, it all comes out, and you get the ancestors of David coming out of this. So this is why I love the story of Ruth. It's fun, but there's this hint of sexuality in there.
Yeah.
It's hidden. It's not explicit.
Yes.
But again, the best rock and roll songs, the reason that rock and roll took root is it wasn't explicit. I don't like these explicit lyrics. I like it when they're just hinting at it. They're just... Is that what he's suggesting? I just remember learning these expressions growing up going, is that what that means? Oh, well, giggle, right? When we first learned that, and you're like, oh, and it's this illumination. It's this, you're coming of age, and you're like, oh, well, I'm going to remember that story. And that's the power of it.